Last time we saw anything resembling money is in May. It is not acceptable, neither here nor in heaven, even in hell. It is not acceptable. We are informing the county government of Homa Bay that we will come back to work when you take your work seriously.
You can get it, I can get it. If you have a patient who is in the wards and he starts coughing, he's experiencing difficulty in breathing, and there is this nurse, for instance, or this healthcare provider at the nursing station with no PPE. Do you think this person is going to clear the airways of this guy? You don't have protective gears for your eyes, nose. You'll find a healthcare provider working in a suspected COVID-19 isolation ward with this kind of mask. Compare this mask with those you see those guys giving numbers every day on the news. They have even better face masks. This guy, who is not even coming in contact with the patient, is putting on cool face masks, and the one attending to your patient has this one. And if it is an N95, it is a fake one. Trust me, this health worker is not going to clear the airways of your patient. So if your patient even chokes with his own saliva or even milk, chances of him getting some first aid are reduced. People have no salary. What is going to motivate you to work? Your boss, if the administration is not serious, your employer, they know very well they have not paid you. We're only human. What actually motivates you to work, to go to work and do your best? If these governors, these politicians on the streets, they will tell you how they have gone to supply PPEs. Some of these things are fake. The moment you put them on like this, these handles, they'll just pluck off. And currently you find the county government actually employing people on short contracts or locum, whereby if I'm not paid today, if I question my boss, my contract will not be renewed. And the people with permanent and pensionable jobs are those guys that the COVID wherever team have decided to say these people will be exempted. So these guys even are not exposed. The people who are exposed and are not even being paid by the county government are on short-term contracts, whereby if you're not paid even for 2 months, you raise your voice and the administration notices you are the one trying to push for the pay. The next 3 months after that contract, it is terminated. It is not renewed. That is how the county government is actually misusing their offices. And it is actually unfortunate that the healthcare was devolved, because you'll find even someone who cleans, because he has connections to maybe the governor, he even reports to work late, or he's a friend to an MCA, or he's a cousin to the current MP of a particular place. He doesn't show up and he'll not be questioned, because after all, he has connections. So you can imagine walking in a public facility, you find some blood stains, and then that senior guy, because he has connection, he's not even showing up, and you can't challenge him because you're only on contract, 3-month contract or something, and maybe he's on a permanent job, maybe for the next five years, because he has connection to the MP. Things are just cool. Things are just fucked up. And what else? Actually, the government is not serious. Personally, my experience, when I was doing my internship, I had to follow up my NHF thing for it to reflect. We have NSSF. I followed up 1 year later. I discovered my salary was being chopped, yes, and it was not being remitted to NSSF. The NSSF guys told me there is no cash in your under your name, so you need to go and follow up your issue with the Ministry of Health guys. So I'm just for this. This is just one case. You can imagine how many guys the ministry has not paid, remitted their NHIF and NSSF. Every month they take 200 shillings. If we have 2,000 interns being posted, you can imagine 2,000 times 200 for 1 year. These guys, there are people who are taking advantage. They are misusing their offices. Personally, I will follow up my NSSF, and I want to know why someone did not remit my 200 shillings since I started my internship and I cleared. And I'm sure even up to now, I don't have cash on my NSSF. I'll say that I will not pay until I find time to go to those offices, the MOH, find who is this guy who is supposed to do his job and is not been doing it, and where is this money going. Someone needs to explain. And by the way, we need to invite the DCR, the DPP, to investigate these guys. It is not fair. As a healthcare provider, you've been rendering service every day, working the general population, and you fall sick. You can't afford to receive the service you've always been rendering, because your NSSF, NHIF, the insurance things are just bullshit. You'll be told, oh, you worked for the government and you are paying maybe 1,700 and you happen to have retired. And then you start paying maybe 500, and then you are told, now that you are in this category of 500, you're not employed, your NHIF can only cover from this amount to this amount. You can imagine at an old age, what will even motivate me to work? The government just needs to be serious. So right now, by the way, if you collapse right now and die, someone will just say you died of COVID-19. Even if you get a heart attack, someone will use COVID-19. So just be careful. Take good care of yourself. I'm telling you this for free because there are some people who are so frustrated at their workplace, and you'll find the administration just giving a false impression that things are running well. But maybe in the wards, we have a go-slow. People are not working. Why? They're not working efficiently. Why? They don't have PPEs. If you're a Kenyan out there and you always ignore what these health workers coming out on TV every time saying we need PPEs. You think that is none of your business. Wait until that time when you or your close friend or brother or son or daughter goes to that facility and then they die. That is when you realize actually these guys had something, said something, and people were supposed to take action. There's some people who think this is not their business. Wait until your son or your friend or your husband or wife will miss an ambulance to take him to an ICU and dies. That is when you realize this current government, Kenyan government with this county government thing, are just crazy. If you find a level 4 or 5 with one ambulance working, the rest are not even working. If you have 2 emergencies, people need to go to an ICU. There's no even ambulance to take them. There are no, if you need transfusion, you have, there's no efficiency. Like, there are people who know what I'm talking about, but those people who are like, I don't care. Just pray to God to protect you at the moment, because if you happen to fall sick right now, when you start gasping, this healthcare worker will be like, hey, me, I can't go to resuscitate this guy. One, my eyes are exposed. The mask I have is not even effective. So why should I expose myself? If I die today, nobody's even not going to take care of my family. It's unfortunate we've lost a number of healthcare workers, and daily briefings, you'll say, may their soul rest in peace. It's an unfortunate incident. There's nothing these guys are doing. People will die, and just think about it. Listen to what healthcare providers are saying. Don't wait until you lose that loved one for you to join them in this fight. Keep social distance, wear mask, wash your hands, and avoid crowded places. And kindly, let's put our government on toes. The nursing team have given a strike notice. Homa Bay is just another example. They've decided they're not going to work because the employer is also at home, so they're joining the employer at home. It sounds funny, but it's not funny when you have a patient in those facilities. Those are just a few. But people who are working with short-term contract actually suffering. So Kenyans, let's rise up. Tuache ujinga. Let's elect leaders who are using their brains. If we don't have basic things in the facilities, basic tests, basic drugs, you'll find a big ward with over 40 patients. with one suction machine. Do you think that is a safe place? A time like this when we have COVID. If you are a smoker, for instance, and you happen to have COPD, anyone who sees you with difficulty in breathing, you will be a suspect and you will be neglected. There are no enough oxygen supply in some of these big hospitals. These so-called isolation centers, you go there. If it was a media, ni ujinga, ni uongo. Enda kwa ground, utajua mambo kwa ground ni tofauti. I'm not used to this kind of videos, but I think nimeona tu niseme kitu mjue kuwa we are operating at this is a bad time, and this is a time where you actually need just to pray you don't fall sick, because even common cold will be treated as COVID and nobody will attend to you. You will die. Let's ask serious questions and let's address these questions that I'm trying to bring up here. I know it is a boring thing, lakini tafadhali msikize chenye healthcare workers wanasema.
A total paralyzing strike in Homa Bay County for aggressions that have been instigated by the employer, who is the county government of Homa Bay. The employer has abdicated his responsibilities. The employer is asleep. The employer is home. So we are joining him in that exercise. We are saying that the county government of Homa Bay has abandoned its healthcare workers, and the healthcare workers in that regard have equally now withdrawn. The law of this country that you cannot work without pay. And as such, we do not intend to break the law as workers, as civil servants. We therefore withdraw our labor until such a time when the employer will deem it fit to pay the workers of Homa Bay. In the same regard, I wish to reiterate that we have been very, very lenient with Homa Bay County. For the last almost 8 months, our salaries have been paid almost days late. This time, we are already in August. The last time we saw anything resembling money is in May. It is not acceptable, neither here nor in heaven, even in hell. It is not acceptable. We are informing the county government of Homa Bay that we will come back to work when you take your work seriously. Yes. And I'm laying this responsibility squarely at the desk of His Excellency, the Governor of Homa Bay County. Please, ready for June, that is making us more angry, was passed in the budget of 2019-2020. Yes. It has no role with the stalemate in Senate, as is currently being witnessed. All other counties in the region have paid their salaries, and some have begun to pay for July. We are therefore demanding, and we as a union, we are asking the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Director of Criminal Investigations. Yes.
So, like, what is the difference between BBI and Huduma number? Huduma number was hyped, overhyped. Wenye mko na Huduma number, hebu tafakari hayo. BBI is the same bullshit. People are talking about BBI kila wakati when they don't want to address about PPEs. That is when you need to know Kenyan government inacheza na Wakenya hivi, inawazungusha hivi, inatuzungusha. That has to stop. let's ask serious questions, and the government just needs to give us clear way forward. Watu tunaumia, health workers tunaumia. If a health worker analia hivi, you can imagine what a poor man, what he's going to experience. Let's think about this.